We are starting the conversation today on education, and especially in these times of COVID, we've seen so many things being destabilized. We've seen so many kids saying, it's taking so long. We've seen parents saying, what is this? What is going to happen? I don't understand. And we've also seen so many other things happen in schools known as Kichomeka. So many things have happened when it comes to the conversation around COVID. And having this conversation with us this morning, I have the Secretary General, Kenya National Union of Teachers, and Mark Oseno, who's the Director of Communications. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is lovely to have you in this show today. And if we're talking about conversations around education, then you are the most important people to have it and Kenyans to hear from.
Right.
So, tafadhali, introductions. I know I have done a bit of it, but we can start with you, Mr. Collins.
Thank you very much. I'm Collins Soyu, the Secretary General, Kenya National Union of Teachers.
Yes.
In fact, the greatest and the biggest union in Africa, teacher union in Africa, south of the Sahara and north of River Limpopo. Not sounds to be strong.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, Mike, please.
Yeah, my name is Mark Oseno, a Senior Executive Officer in charge of communication. So I'm known as a Communications Director, as well as in charge of administration.
Great.
Of that.
So it is true. We've seen so many things. At some point, we were not so sure at what point we'll pick up as parents, as students, because we were home for a very long time with our children, and it caused a disruption. And I don't know what are some of the things we've seen, the short holidays, we've seen them going back to school, and probably in a few months, we'll see the system going back to the way it used to be. But what are some of the measures that have been put in place to ensure that there is stability even as this transition happens?
Yeah, I think you're right to say that there's been a lot of instability given the fact that our learners stayed home for quite a long time.
Yes.
I want to put it here straight that within my knowledge and the rest of the teachers who handle these learners, it is true that the learners that we sent home at lockdown are not the same learners that we received back.
That is so true.
So this has been, a major cause of the problems around this time of unrest in schools. Well, we could have other issues those other times that schools used to burn down. But for this, I pick on this long holiday, staying at home for close to 9 months.
Yeah.
Then they came back totally different people. Most of them got engagements.
Yes.
Up to and including employment. Self-employment, they went into border. Some parents engaged their children in small business. So when they came back to school, that stress was just too much. Staying in school, having nothing to go around, like receiving money from one point to another. So it's like this was another prison altogether. It is not the same school they left. It's like they came back to prison.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So this was a cause of, to me, that was a major cause of this unrest.
That is so true. And
some even came back as young parents.
that is true. Some did not even come back.
Yeah, some didn't come back at all. And we went round, the Minister of Education went round fishing out those who ran away from school totally to bring them back to school. And with behavior, change is at every other time, given peer grouping at every level. So if these learners went out, they joined the rest of the world.
Yes.
You can imagine what they came back as, totally different people.
Great.
Yes.
And there's stigma generally in society, especially to young girls who came back as parents, and some did not come back, who came back later, some came back pregnant. What kind of preparation is done now for the teachers and other students to help them welcome them back in school, or being able to accommodate them and be like, unajua ni sawa, this happened, but you're in school, we're wearing a uniform, that makes us all equal?
I think there ought to have been a proper analysis of the learners who are coming back.
Okay.
To have teachers prepared well to receive them. For example, when a learner comes back as a parent, that stigma will be there. I'm not who I was before we left.
Yes.
I'm now a different person. Definitely, you cannot rule out stigma. So what ought to have been done, and this is what we've told the Ministry of Education, it is not bad to receive back learners even after such. But it's important that you talk about the stigma, find ways of handling the stigma, and our proposal as Kenya National Union of Teachers, the best that could have been done to such young parents is not to readmit them in the same schools. You can have them transferred in other schools, then they pick up from there. You cannot rule out stigma in a learner.
Yeah.
And the learner will not tell you that he or she is stigmatized. So you get on teaching, but what you're doing does not impart in the same way it used to be when this learner was in that other state.
Okay.
Yes.
And maybe Mark, you can chip in on this one.
Yeah.
Because, when COVID happened, then we saw something change in terms of even how education was being done. Now we saw a lot of e-learning continuing and happening. And I don't know what that has taught us, you know, as parents, as teachers, as leaders, how to prepare well in terms of, is that the future now that we are already here? Is that the future of learning in this country and the world?
Yeah, of course, the world is changing. And the way things were done in the past may not be the way things are going to be done in the future. And e-learning could be the way to go, though some people are trying to resist. We realized that there was a lot of imbalance in the society. There are people who really accessed the e-learning, and there are those who never accessed at all.
Yeah.
And that imbalance could have been maybe one of the reasons there's been a lot of unrest in schools. There are learners who feel they are not as advantaged as the others. Yeah, yet they are going to be exposed to the same exam. So I think government needs to do so much in ensuring that the equipment and the tools to be used in the e-learning are accessed by all the learners in the society, so that no one feels I'm not going to, you know, we are not
already disadvantaged.
I'm already
when
disadvantaged.
It comes to the rest.
Yes, or something like that.
Okay.
So I think sincerely we need to have that e-learning brought full throttle to have all the learners accessed, and therefore no one should be feeling more advantaged than the other. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Teachers are fundamental in our society, and they've always been from way back to now, and we can't lose, you know, sight of how important they are to the society. And I don't know how that ties in with the Vision 2030. What is the role of teachers when that is put in place?
No, it's true, and I want to agree with you. Teachers are very important in the society right from the beginning.
Yeah.
What is actually amiss is a concept and focus that most parents have lost in teachers. That confidence is actually getting eroded away. I don't know why. In the society, when a teacher spoke, that was law.
Yep.
In a society, when a teacher gave a piece of advice, that was to be taken like yesterday. But look up here, what is happening now? Discipline has really, been eroded away. Right from parents, they don't even recognize. Some don't recognize the role of teachers in the society. For example, a parent does not even know that the person who takes care of this child, the second molder of this child, is a teacher.
That is true.
To the extent that some even shout at these teachers while in school. And you know, you've been invited to school simply because your child is going astray. You don't even want to recognize and respect that. What you do in turn is see the mistake to be on the teacher and even the administration itself. Why my child? Why my child? My child is the best. So we are helping you to know your child. You're not getting us know your child from your end.
Yeah.
You're not free to tell us, this is what my child is. So once you identify issues, with your child, you're on the defensive.
Yeah.
So it becomes a big problem until we get back to where we were. with exactly what teachers used to be regarded to be, then I don't think we shall make even much strides as we approach 2030. Yeah, so it's upon, well, the ministry and even teachers themselves to come out strongly and face parents. Most of these issues that we actually see come up on the negative from children,
Yeah.
we cannot blame teachers per se. Much of it is from down
home.
there.
Yes.
I know when it starts with the parent, it actually sums up to be the community. And now it is a community against teachers, a society against teachers. If we really want to go the best way to achieve what we think we should actually achieve in 2030,
Yes.
let us revert back to that big respect that was accorded to teachers, and let us have it straight that for me, this is my child, yes.
Yeah.
But for the child to get molded to the extent that we actually expect
Yeah.
as parents and the society, let the teachers do their role. In that we shall achieve 2030 vision.
Great.
Yes.
And tomorrow we have a conversation around this happening. Maybe you can tell us more about
I'm happy we shall have this conversation tomorrow in the education conference that we shall be holding here tomorrow. And very importantly, this should actually go out there to parents and even our teachers, because we shall discuss so many issues affecting the education sector, so that we bring it back. What we want as Kenya National Union of Teachers is to bring back the sector glory.
Yes.
By, chipping in pieces of advice from our end, because Kenya National Union of Teachers is a professional union. We are all teachers, so we know a lot from where we sit, and we really want to get, this sector cleansed once more, and we get to exactly what shall actually make us succeed. So I want to take this opportunity to invite all and sundry, all and sundry,
Yes.
to make sure that they really attend to this.
Yes.
Because the panelists that we have actually invited, I think they have the capacity to roll out this conference tomorrow, and I'm sure we shall achieve. We shall achieve. I still want to reiterate this important conference tomorrow, education conference. Don't miss it.
Okay.
Be part of it. You will learn a lot for sure.
Great.
Yes.
And Mark, maybe you can give us details on where it will be happening, and maybe some of the topics. How can we be a part of it, even if not physically? How can we be a part of it, even virtually?
All right. The topics have been well selected to fit the contemporary situation of education, not only in Kenya,
Yes.
but the world.
Okay.
We've started by identifying the role of parents in education as a sector, as a key component of the discussion tomorrow. Then we are looking at the role of teachers post-COVID. What roles are teachers playing post-COVID, and how much support do they need from the other stakeholders to ensuring that education gets back to normalcy, just like the SG has said.
Yes.
We also looked at this concept of trainings for teachers. Is it important now that there is a change in the pedagogy of teaching? Is it important that the teacher should be trained so that they are able to now drive education as a sector in a new perception or a new trajectory?
Okay.
Is it important? Then the policies being rolled out by government. For example, when the SG now talks about schools and rest, we have to go back to the question of why did we stop this concept of punishment to learners? Then what was the alternative? Now, when we say punishment should not be given to learners, what are we giving as an alternative? We have seen in the recent past, we saw a student in Kisii drive a nail into the head of a principal. Nobody came out to tell us what happened thereafter, what was done to the learner. We've seen learners
give ultimatums tukikosa kwenda nyumbani.
This is what we'll do.
This is what we'll do. And then so if you don't let them go, then they will do this to you. So
yesterday,
at what point are you going to control that?
All right. Yesterday we saw learners smoke bang in a matatu. And when the driver drove them to a police station,
He was harassed?
he was harassed. So that is a question. Those are some of the issues we need to be discussing. Ask ourselves, yes, we may have said corporal punishment should be outlawed,
Yes.
but we didn't say what is the alternative to this. And therefore the world is now taking a different turn. Parents and learners are looking at teachers from a very different perspective. The role of a teacher has been taken away by the ministry because of the policy on punishment and others.
Yeah.
And so the conversation will be around that.
Okay.
The issue of technology in education. We just talked about
Yes.
e-learning.
Yes.
What does KICD, of course, KICD are part of the panelists tomorrow.
Great.
What are they going to tell us? Okay, what do they have in store for education in future?
This is a conversation, even if you're not a parent, you're an auntie somewhere.
Yes.
You are a grandmother, a sister. So it's
Yeah.
a conversation that I think everybody should be a part of.
Exactly.
So at what time is the conference starting? Kesho.
Yeah, the conference is starting at 10 in
Okay.
the morning and ending towards midday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
But I doubt if it will take that short time. It might take longer
Yeah.
because we have issues, we have questions and all
Yeah,
of that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I just want to take this time to thank you so much for coming on to my show this morning and just starting the conversation here and now as we prepare to really indulge into it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will learn. There's so much. And just listening from the two of you this morning, then tumewachilia kamba mahali kama wazazi. So we need to take the reins back and do something about it.
Exactly.
Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
We're going to take a very short commercial break. We will be right back after this break.